I'd like to review a method for solving problems, specifically word problems. It's called the guess method. It keeps you organized and gets you to the answer. G stands for given. This is what is given in the problem. U stands for your unknown, what you're trying to find. The first E stands for equality. And an equality is basically an equation. An example of this would be like 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. It's an equality because it's got an equal sign in the middle. And what we can do is we can take this equality and turn it into a conversion factor. And I can write it as a fraction, either 1 foot over 12 inches or 12 inches over 1 foot. The next is the setup. And we start with rewriting the given. And then we use conversion factors to cancel units. This is all based on something similar to something in algebra. If I've got x times 1 over x, these x's cancel out, and I'm left with 1. Same kind of deal. What I want to do is I want to get, this is what I have, times what I want over what I have. Again, what I have will cancel, and I'm left with what I want. And we're doing that with the units. As we do an example, it'll become more apparent. The last S is to solve. And that's simply calculate the solution. Let's go ahead and take a simple example. Question is, how many feet are in 38 inches? Well, first thing I do is set up my given. My given is 38.0 inches. My unknown, I'm looking for feet, so I'd write question mark and feet. Always include the units because the units are really important because they're going to cancel. My equality is 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, and we'll convert that into a conversion factor in a few minutes here. Setup, I rewrite my given, 38.0 inches, always with the units, times, now I can either put inches on the top or inches on the bottom, but what I have is inches, so what I have goes on the bottom. So that's 12 inches, and that means that what I want goes on the top, 1 foot. So what will happen here is I've got inches on top, inches on bottom, just like x over x, or any fraction. The inches will cancel. I'm left with the units of feet, which is the units I was looking for in the first place. So I get 38 divided by 12, So I can now grab my calculator and take 38 divided by 12, and I get 3.166 repeating. 3.1666 and so on feet. Now, I know I've got to take care of sig figs here. Sig figs, I've got 3 sig figs in my given. These guys are both infinite number of sig figs because, like we've said before, with exact numbers, stuff inside a definition, they're going to be exact along with counts. Well, this is part of a definition. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I need 3 sig figs in my answer. So my final answer to the correct number of sig figs is going to be 3.17 feet. And I'm done. Let's try one that's a bit more complicated. I don't know how many grams are in 1.50 troy ounces. So again, I'm going to shortcut this a bit. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do the full-blown guess method. Forget it. My given is 1.50 troy ounces. I'm going to abbreviate a little bit. My unknown is grams, question mark, grams. I've got a list of equalities over here that I'm going to pull from and make into conversion factors. So I'm ready to go ahead and get my setup. I'm going to always start with my given, 1.50. Let's do this. I'm not sure how much room I'm going to need. 1.50 troy ounces times, I need to cancel troy ounces. So I've got troy ounces. I go from, this is going to be a little complicated. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together what I'm going to call as a road map. I know that I can trade troy ounces for either troy pounds or pennyweights. So if I go troy pounds, I'm kind of stuck. But if I go to pennyweights, then I can trade pennyweights for grains, and then I can trade grains for grams. So that's going to be the path that I'm going to take. I'm going to trade troy ounces for pennyweight. I'm going to trade the pennyweight for grains. And then I'm going to trade the grains for grams. So now we're ready to go ahead and do this without getting lost on the way. This step isn't necessarily required, but sometimes it's a good idea when it looks like we're going to have a long road to take to get to our final units. So here's what I do. Troy ounces, I said I was going to do pennyweights, so it's going to be 1 troy ounce on the bottom and 20 pennyweights on the top. And then pennyweights, so it's going to be 1 pennyweight. Let me check these off as I use them. 1 pennyweight and then 24 grains. I'm not going to abbreviate that so I don't confuse it with grams. So I've got that taken care of. So at this point, I'm right here. I'm in grains. I'm ready to go to grams. So I go ahead and I go down here. I've got 1 grain on the bottom. And I've got 0.0648 grams on the top. Now let's double check these units and make sure they canceled out right. Troy ounces cancels troy ounces. Pennyweights cancels pennyweights. Grains cancels grains because I got this on top, this on bottom, this on top, this on bottom, this on top, this is on bottom. It's another pattern you can look for, this diagonal kind of setup here. So I'm left with grams, which is what I was looking for. Grams is the only unit that it didn't get canceled out. So at this point, I can go ahead and grab my calculator and solve. Oh boy, that's going to be in the way. All right, let's go over there. There we go. So I've got 1.5. Now what I do is You know what, let's do this for a second here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply across the top, so it's going to be 1.50 times 20 times 24 times 0.60 0.0648 divided by, I've only got ones on the bottom, so that makes it easy. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Now I can go ahead and calculate this. So I've got 1.5 times 20 times 24 times 0.0648. Hit enter, and I get 46.656. So 46.656 grams, but I know I need this to sig figs, the proper number of sig figs. This has 3 sig figs, infinite, 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 infinite. This actually has 3 sig figs. The lead zeros don't count. This is a measurement. These all say exact. This does not say exact, so I'm going to assume it's not exact. Going between, this is an English system, this is a metric system, so going between two systems, they're generally not exact inside a system. These guys are all part of the English system, grains to pennyweights, pennyweights to troy ounces. Those are exact. So my least number of sig figs is 3, so I wind up with an answer of 46.7 grams.